It is always game day in Cleveland. I'm Andy Baskin, and he is Daryl Ryder. Daryl, tell us about our friends from BetQL.
Mobile sports betting finally legal in the state of Ohio. Andy, in case you haven't heard, it's been that way since January. BetQL is here to help you make the most informed bets possible. You can see all of today's best bets by heading to BetQL.com or by downloading the BetQL app, where you can claim your free 3-day trial today. Head to BetQL.com/news/923TheFan for those exclusive sportsbook offers.
All right, Daryl, when we last left you in the last segment of the show, that we were talking about Deshaun Watson, what he said about his play at Greenbrier, but it also goes into a much bigger thing. The Browns will go as far as Deshaun Watson can take them this year. I don't think there's any question on that. What do
Yeah,
you think?
and I would agree with that. And what he was getting at is while we're over analyzing every pass and completion, incompletion, interception, touchdown, whatever, that they're working stuff in practice. They're working on third down. So guess what? He's going to make throws during those drills that maybe during a game he normally is not going to make, because they are messing around a little bit, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So to sit there and criticize the end result of practice it doesn't exactly, on the fairness meter, tip the scales in a positive direction, because we don't know what they're working on. So his message about not being so or I should say results oriented in your evaluations of what takes place in practice just really doesn't fit. As far as this team goes, you're right. They named him a captain since we've last spoken. Deshaun Watson is a captain. Not a surprise. I think it's a separate discussion as to whether or not he even should be a captain based on everything he has been through. But the bottom line is he's the quarterback of the team. Quarterbacks are usually captains. For this franchise to get where it wants to go, and that's to the Super Bowl and hopefully winning the damn thing, he has to lead, right? He has to lead on that side of the ball. So naming him one of the 5 team captains. And the other thing, too, is voted on by his teammates. His teammates voted him a captain. And his teammates care about one thing and one thing only, and that is what is happening within the locker room and within those white lines. So, Deshaun and Joel Bitonio represent the offense. Your defensive captains are Anthony Walker and Myles Garrett. And then your special teams captain is Charlie Hewlett. So the two longest tenured Cleveland Browns on this roster, Joel Bitonio and Charlie Hewlett, if my memory serves me correctly, both came into the league in 2014. They both are, among the 5 team captains. So, yeah, this team is going to go as far as number 4 is able to carry them.
All right, just a update to you in case you're worried about my health, because I think I've coughed a couple times. While everyone enjoyed great weather this weekend, I was absolutely miserable. This has probably been one of the worst allergy weekends I've had in like 10 years. And so much so that it forced us to cancel our plans last night. That's how sick I was last night. So I'm okay. And I've taken COVID tests left and right too. So not COVID, as my wife made sure that I tested and then tested again. So just to give you an update on that too. And Daryl, before we get back into the Browns here for a second, are you at a incarceration facility, or where are you today?
I am in an undisclosed location in Northeast Ohio.
Really?
And by the way, while you were sick, is this a bad time for me to mention that I spent my weekend at the air show?
No, go ahead. Tell everyone. Because you got high school football stories coming from me, so go ahead.
Go. Is that what's going on? You got the high school football ready to go?
No, I got the high school football itch. So, but keep going. How was the air show?
It was fantastic. Got to watch the fabulous Thunderbirds. Found out I needed a new camera, so I posted a bunch of really, really great set of pictures on my Instagram. The problem is I had to crop them all because I'm going to need a new camera. So we really need this podcast to do very, very well here in the coming weeks so that I can afford to get a new camera so I can continue taking some pretty sweet pictures. I already got my eye on the new purchase, and it includes upgraded lenses too.
Ooh.
So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Pretty good sized crowd. And I'm all about one of the pictures I captured the Top Gun scene. Remember the inverted scene in Top Gun where flying on top of the MiG, right? So I got a shot of the Thunderbirds doing that very maneuver, and so what I did is I went INDB or whatever, and I pulled up the script
Quote.
from that
Yeah.
part of the movie, and I just attached the dialogue to the picture. What were you doing up there? Communicating.
Yes.
Giving him the bird. Oh, the finger. Yes, we know the finger, Goose.
I thought it was saying you're number one.
Yeah.
Same deal.
But yeah, it was really cool. The Thunderbirds were fantastic. The best part though is when they would fly low, and not only do you get the incredible sound. By the way, do me a favor. I did see this. If you're taking your kids to an air show, have ear protection for them, please. Please.
So I don't know if you caught this at the Guardians game last night. There was a baby in the first row. Now with the Nets, it's a lot better than it was.
Right.
But man, if you've got a baby, like a little one, I mean, like less than a year old, and you're like holding him up and doing the whole puppet thing with the kids, you better be careful because the net does bend a little bit. And if you get a foul ball, I've seen too many people get hit. So wait, I got to tell you a Thunderbird story really quick here. So when I was young, my parents took me to the air show. Loved it. Used to love going, whether it was the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds. So the first time I thought I was going to see the Thunderbirds, I thought I was going to watch the Thunderbirds that were like the marionettes. Remember those?
That's fantastic.
Where are they? Where are they? Where are the other Thunderbirds? Like, what? What's this all about?
This is the ultimate Andy Baskin.
And then the South Park guys came through and made the movie where they did it with the marionettes. And I got to tell you, that was one funny movie.
I believe that was Team America World Police.
That is correct. That is correct. Well done. You are a movie aficionado. All right, let's get back to football here. We talked about the defense. Let's talk about the offense now. How confident are you in this offense as we head into week one and we'll see Deshaun Watson right out of the gate? You don't have to wait till 6 games left in the season. We saw him in preseason. We saw what some of the faults are. We know what's out there. Why will Deshaun Watson be better in the opening game against Cincinnati than he's been his entire Browns career on the field?
Because they rewrote half the playbook for him to fit his skill set, number one. Number two, he's had the entire offseason to work that playbook. Multiple trips with his teammates during vacation times during the offseason program. Remember, they went to Puerto Rico. They went to Miami. I think they went to a third location too. It might have been actually in Texas. So he has been able to really work all of that, Andy. And I feel like, remember going back to early in OTAs where I was like, hey, the chemistry with these new receivers, don't look that good. Well, by the time they got to veteran minicamp in mid-June, night and day difference as far as progress goes, right? And then again,
why, Daryl?
I just think it was just just part of the process of getting those reps in. He's gotten the reps in, right? Nothing hanging over his over his head. Knew he was going to start week one. So not having to split reps with another quarterback, right? Didn't have to prep somebody else to get in there. So I just think that process alone of him getting all of those reps and all of that work with his teammates has positioned him in a fashion to where he can hit the ground running. Now, he himself has said that it is his expectation that he starts the season off hot. And quite frankly, looking at the schedule where you have all 3 AFC North opponents within the first 5 weeks, and by the way, of their first 5 games, 4 of them are at home. That means the rest of the way, they're only going to play like 4 home games. Think about that for a second. They're going to have to be road warriors down the stretch. So I think that his expectation is that he is going to be able to really hit the ground running this year and get this offense to a hot start. And hopefully it starts Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals, because we know who awaits in week 2. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football.
All right, excuse me. When we return, I do want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to talk about Joe Burrow. I want to talk about what this team will face the first few weeks of the season and why you should have confidence in your Cleveland Browns. Plus, J.C. Treader made an appearance in Berea. We'll talk about the former Browns offensive lineman who does a great job running the Union. So we'll talk about that when we return to It's Always Game Day in Cleveland.